Yo, what is good, everybody? Fantastic Hip Hop back here with a new YouTube video. We are back in the building, and today we're going to be counting down the top 25 albums of 2021 so far. Now, this is becoming a little bit of tradition as the first ever website article I posted, which was about a year ago, was the top 20 albums of 2020. So, obviously, we're going to up the stakes because that's what we do, but we're going to be counting down the best releases of the year so far. We're at the halfway point. Now, there hasn't been a lot of big names that have dropped, but there is still a lot of records that deserve their praise. Y'all know the drill. Let's get right to it. Coming in at number 25, we have Polo G's third studio album, Hall of Fame. Bangers, versatility, some sad trap piano beats, and a perfect blend between sheer fun and raw emotion makes this Polo's most dynamic release yet. At number 24, we got Czarface and MF Doom's second collab album, Super What. In all honesty, this record was disappointing, but even with some of their most rushed material ever, Esoteric, 7L, Inspected Deck, and the masked villain Doom himself are able to make a solid LP filled with lyrical fury. Speaking of lyrical fury, our number 23 album is Lloyd Banks' The Course of the Inevitable. Legendary G Unit member Lloyd Banks' first album in over a decade is an absolute star-studded lyrical slaughterfest. Jumping into the number 22 spot, we have Quedeca's From Me to You. While lacking recognition, this YouTube star proves he has what it takes to be one of hip-hop's next great visionaries through heartfelt messaging and some very creative tracks. Coming in at number 21, we have Slow Thigh's Tyron. Similar to Quedeca's album, I felt the raw emotions on this record show Thigh's potential to be great, but its disjointed halves and lack of topical exploration hold it back from being truly amazing. Now we're in the top 20, and I need my Schlatt gang to stand up. We got Slime Language 2, simply because it is just so fun. It does have its issues, but Thug and Crew did such a great job at making a roller coaster of an experience, it has to be here. At the number 19 spot, we have Griselda and BSF's Conflicted soundtrack. Now, this is honestly one of the better movie soundtracks that's dropped in the past few years, and it's really funny because the movie itself absolutely sucked. But there's great collaborations, consistent energy, and that typical Griselda flair, and it makes the LP such a joy to go through. In the number 18 spot, we have DMX's first posthumous album, Exodus. Now, this record was such a tearjerker, and it's kind of ironic because a lot of the songs are your typical Rough Rider, Swizz Beatz produced anthems with guests like The Lox, Jay-Z, Nas, Griselda, Lil Wayne. But its somber moments hit so hard, and hearing out everything that X said, the man he became, and knowing that he's not here to carry out his vision in the physical realm, it is absolutely heartbreaking, but it makes this record beautiful nonetheless. Jumping into the number 17 spot, we have Jim Jones and Harry Fraud's The Fraud Department. Now, teaming up with producer Harry Fraud, legendary Bronx rapper Jim Jones was able to make some straight fire. Smooth, intuitive instrumentals and hard-hitting raps about street life are a formula that never fails, and these two further uphold to that. In the number 16 spot, we have La Machina. Conway's second album this year was a great showcase of what Griselda in 2021 is all about. A-list features from guys like 2 Chainz, Ludacris, and JID, with some trap bangers thrown in there, but then yet your typical grimy Griselda staples show that this is another dope record in the Machine and the label as a whole's catalog. Now, in the number 15 spot, we are in the top 15 now. We got Pharaoh Manch's A Magnificent Day for an Exorcism. This is Pharaoh Manch's first album since 2014, and it was honestly awesome. The soundscape was very plain and unadventurous, but Manch continued to prove his greatness with his woke and hard-hitting lyricism. Now at the number 14 spot, we have the Judas and the Black Messiah soundtrack. So we've had a lot of soundtracks and compilations on this record, but this star-studded one is everything a compilation should be. Generations old and new, collaborations between legends dead and alive. This record brings out any hypothetical idea and executes on it with ease. I mean, literally, Rakim and G Herbo are featured on the same record. It's absolutely awesome. In the number 13 spot, we have Nick Caution's debut album, Anywhere But Here. Pro Era member Nick Caution's debut album finally gives him his long-awaited chance to shine. He's an above-average writer, and the versatility scene here was dope. For those who like guys like Joey Badass and Denzel Curry, check this record out if you haven't. At the number 12 spot, we have the Yad Fahim. Dump God Titans, your old Droog, and the God Fahim capture what makes their movement so great on this record. Typical street raps with their signature touch makes every moment of this 41-minute experience worth checking out. At the 11th spot, we have Conway the Machine and Big Ghost's If It Bleeds, It Can Be Killed. Now, this was the Machine's first record of 2020, and it was super grimy and spine chilling. The lyricism was absolutely gut wrenching. Big Ghost score was angelic and menacing and scary. It was so well done, and it really took you back to those old Griselda days. It was a great callback and a super fun experience. At number 10, we have Madlib's Sound Ancestors. It sounds really good. I don't know what to say. It's an instrumental album, but it does sound really good. Madlib is one of the best producers. Y'all get it. At number 9, we have Death and the Magician. Now, this is a collaborative record between underground rapper, Griselda Records affiliate, Rome Streets, and the legendary DJ Muggs. And they made the newest installment in Coke rap greatness. I mean, this is just your hard, typical, grimy bars. Nothing new, but it's done so well, it has to be here. At number 8, we have Unlocked 1.5. It's just like Unlocked, but it's just a little shittier. I mean, Denzel Curry and Kenny Beats, by adding all these different features and producers, it kind of sacrificed their chemistry, but the record is still very fun. It's still very good, just not as good. And number 7, we have Logic or Doc D's Planetary Destruction. Logic really welcomed us to, his post-retirement world through this record. He was able to show us off, these new ideas he's going with, rapping in a deeper voice, rapping with different cadences, different rhyme schemes. It is super dope, and I can't wait to see what Logic does next with this character, with this persona as a whole. At number 6 now, it's here, The Offseason. Now, this is one of the most fun records I've heard all year. And I'm just going to say, J. Cole, I mean, we've been on a good relationship recently. Obviously, I've been very critical of Cole in the past, but I did say this is one of his better records. I mean, it's just super fun. It's lyrical flair. It's hard-hitting beats. It's well-arranged score. It's fun features. Everything is done very well here. This is really up there with Cole's best. I'm just happy it didn't suck, man. Thank God. Entering the top 5, we have Mac Hammy's Pray for Haiti. Now, this is legendary New Jersey rapper and dump god leader Mac Hammy's 17th studio album. And what makes this one so special is that he is reunited with Griselda Records and longtime friend Westside Gunn. Now, this is really a reunion made in heaven. The aura that Wes brings out, first of all, is just so great. He plays that B-roll like Ghostface did to Raekwon, like Flavor Flav did to Chuck D. He hypes him up. He puts in some great verses here and there, and he does his thing, and it is absolutely great. And then obviously, Mac Hammy is the star of the show. He has such a commanding, dominating, overbearing presence. He makes the whole record feel like such a movie. It's so cinematic to go through. It's so dramatic. And that's the aura that Mac Hammy brings. This record isn't really one of, Mac Hammy's best, but it is super solid, and it is another great addition to his catalog and Griselda's. At number 4, we got another Griselda record, The Plugs I Met 2. Now, Benny the Butcher really just keeps getting better and better and hotter and hotter. Now, I do think this record was a step down from The Plugs 1, Burden of Proof, and Tana Talk 3, but it's still very good. You have Coke rap, you mix that with the elegance of Burden of Proof, and you just get a great fucking combination. This really sums up what the new Griselda movement is as a whole. Now, jumping into the top 3, we have Supercut by Kenny Mason. Now, most of you guys should have heard by Kenny Mason, but if you haven't, he really does have GOAT potential. He could be, one of the next leaders of this game, and this project shows why. He has off the charts versatility, writing that can be funny, potent, tangent, and simple. He has out of this world vocals, and this album is a roller coaster to go through with super fun moments, so many different styles being used. It is absolutely great, and it really shows what this guy can do going forward. Definitely check this out if you haven't. Entering the top 2, we have Haram. Now, this is an album between Billy Woods and Elucid, also known as Arm & Hammer. They've been a prolific duo for about a decade at this point, and they have a new guest on this record, Uncle Al, the Alchemist. Now, you really can't get a better combo than this. They come together, and Alchemist really tests himself. After being on more of a mainstream run, he goes back to the basement. He's making grimy shit. Billy and Elucid are using their darkest, most trickling pen games to get into the listeners' spines, to pierce their souls. This thing is so dark, and it is so masterful, and that's why it's here at number 2. Now at number 1, our 2021 album of the year so far, we have Brockhampton's 6th studio album, Roadrunner, New Light, New Machine. Insane production, Great feature choices, creative song structures, unpredictable turns, and an emotional narrative focusing around the idea of freeing one's spirit makes this record a true tearjerker and something to learn from. Now, this year has been slow, but what Kevin Abstract, Joba, and the rest of the boys did here is absolutely beautiful. Thank you guys so much for listening to this countdown. Be sure to let me know your top 5 albums in the comments below. I love you guys so much. Thanks for the support. We are going to get a daily upload streak going, and if we don't, I'll be Venmoing everyone who likes this video $1. So be sure to like the video. Mr. Fantastic signing out. I love you guys. Peace.